Imam Ali, peace be upon him, once said something truly profound. The price of major sins is to aid the oppressed and relieve the sorrowful. And just think about that for a moment. What he's giving us here isn't just a philosophical idea. It's, well, like a blueprint, a tangible way to reconcile with our past and do some real good in the world. It's powerful because it combines individual redemption with community responsibility. Now imagine for a moment someone who's spent years making choices they regret. Instead of letting that guilt fester, this saying offers them a way to heal, not just internally but externally, by stepping forward, by choosing to be a source of strength for those suffering injustice or grief. And honestly, isn't there something so liberating in that idea? A great example that I always think of can be seen in those unsung heroes, grassroots leaders. I mean, take any major change movement, and chances are, behind the scenes, there's someone quietly working, pouring their heart into helping the vulnerable. Like, there's this one story that sticks with me. In my own city, actually. I remember this leader, local guy, who had, let's say, a pretty dark past. He'd been known for, well, not so great choices in the community. But one day, it's like something just clicked. He started focusing entirely on serving the homeless population, organising drives, fighting for basic services they couldn't access. And the impact he had was just incredible. What struck me most wasn't just his actions, it was the way his own face changed when he spoke about what he was doing. There was this, almost peacefulness to him, because it wasn't just about redemption for him. It was like he found purpose in standing up for those who couldn't stand up for themselves. And maybe that's what makes this wisdom from Imam Ali so relevant to even today. These aren't just ideals from centuries ago, they're reminders of how our smallest gestures, when focused on helping others, can reshape not just our own lives, but those around us. And it creates this ripple effect that can, in some cases, literally change communities. When we think about grief, it's one of those universal experiences. Everyone, at some point, finds themselves carrying this invisible weight, a kind of heaviness that no one else might notice just by looking at you. But what's so powerful about it is that we, as a community, have the chance to lighten that load for each other. And really, isn't that one of the most human things we can do? Take something as simple as listening. I mean, genuinely listening without waiting to interrupt or fix things. It's such a basic act, but, for someone grieving, just knowing that somebody's there, really there, can be transformative. It tells them, you're not alone in this. And then there's emotional support, which doesn't always have to be about saying the perfect words, right? Sometimes just showing up, being present, it's enough. Now, I've seen how this plays out in real life, in organised forms too. There's this community centre I remember reading about. It focused on families that had lost a loved one in, let's say, unexpected ways like accidents or disasters. The volunteers there didn't just help with practical things like meals or paperwork. They held space, safe spaces for these families to talk, cry, or just sit quietly without feeling judged. It wasn't therapy, technically, but in a way it felt therapeutic because these families could slowly rebuild their world, one small conversation or shared moment at a time. And it doesn't stop there. Storytelling plays such an important role in this process too. I mean, think about how many times we've been moved by just hearing someone's story, especially stories of loss and resilience. These narratives, whether personal or shared through media, have this way of reminding us of our collective strength. By giving voice to the grieving, we're not just documenting their journey. We're creating a bridge for others to empathise, heal, and ultimately to connect. So when Imam Ali talks about relieving the sorrowful, it's not just a call to action for individuals. It's really a call to embrace the kind of culture where our shared humanity leads us to engage deeply, not just passively, with those who are hurting. And in doing so, we find that helping others heal becomes a way of healing ourselves. So what happens when we take these ideas, the kind of ideas we've explored today, and weave them into the fabric of society? I mean, what does it look like when justice and compassion become not just personal values, but, collective priorities? The answer, I think, is pretty remarkable. It's a society where fairness and kindness are more than ideals. They're lived realities. A society where individuals don't just recognise pain and suffering, but willingly, even eagerly, step forward to alleviate it. And here's where this concept of positive substitution comes in. Instead of dwelling on guilt or mistakes, we can kind of redirect that energy into something constructive. into actions that serve others. That's redemption in its truest sense, isn't it? It's not about ignoring the past, it's about transforming it into a driving force for good. I think of activists and community organisers who've turned their personal struggles, or regrets, into powerful engines for change. They don't just compensate for their own missteps, they pave the way for entire communities to thrive. But honestly, it doesn't always have to be these grand gestures, right? That's the beauty of it. Even small acts can have profound effects. You could be the person volunteering at a shelter, the one who checks in on a neighbour who's having a tough time, or even someone who just listens when another human being needs to be heard. These moments, as simple as they may seem, have a way, how do I put it, of rippling outward. So what about you? Where might an act of kindness or justice fit into your life? Think about it. Could helping others guide you back to a deeper sense of connection? With yourself, your beliefs, the world? I mean, when we advocate for justice and offer kindness, it feels like we're returning to something essential, something that binds us all. And in doing that, we heal, not just the wounds of others, but, in a way, our own too. And that's where I'll leave it for today. These ideas of justice, compassion, and atonement, they're not just theories, they're opportunities. Opportunities to make things better, not just for others, but for ourselves. So thank you for spending this time with me, for reflecting on these questions. Until next time, take care, and let's keep fostering that justice and kindness in everything we do.